I just want to thank you again for coming out, and we want to use this opportunity to show you all the wonderful things we have here at Pine Grove and all the great things we're doing for our students. I hope through the speakers we have here today that you get a chance to hear about some of these great things, and we will be providing tours after so you can actually physically see our sensory garden, our pool, some of the great things we have technology-wise in our classrooms. So we'll start. I want to introduce Ron Kniff, Superintendent of Kent ISD.
Thank you. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate that, and what a pleasure it is to be here today. Again, Ron Kniff, Superintendent of Kent ISD. What a beautiful facility this is, isn't it? I mean, what an incredible, beautiful facility that the planners designed and parents helped design and staff helped design with Grand Rapids Public Schools and especially the architects and construction management firms. So I just want to thank everyone who had a role, who had a piece in building this beautiful structure. Now, this is very exciting for me today because I want to share a little history with you. I was in it on the ground floor, if you will, quite a long time ago. You see, I recall the day when there was nothing in this area, in this field, but a grove of pines. It was an open field. Back in 2006, Lincoln campus was bulging at the seams. There was absolutely no space to add on to Lincoln campus. The staff there was creative as they possibly could be to try to divide walls and create classrooms. The physical space, there was no additional space to add onto the footprint at Lincoln campus back in 2005, 2006. And the deeper problem is that the special educators in the county, Lori Vanderplug, and other leadership at that time said, you know, we're looking at the numbers of the students that are still coming up in the pipeline, and we don't know where we're going to house and educate these children. And it's not just the children from Grand Rapids Public Schools, it's the children throughout the whole county, as I'll talk a little bit more about, or perhaps Teresa Weatherall-Neal will talk a little bit about. So we've got a real problem. And so the great thing that happens in this county is collaboration. The superintendents throughout our county, with the leadership of Grand Rapids Public Schools, said, let's get a committee together and let's study this. And so we looked at the numbers, and we looked at enrollment, and we looked at the special needs population. And what we decided, or what the committee decided, looking at all the data, realizing that there was no additional space at Lincoln campus, is let's create a new facility, a brand new facility where there is none right now. Matter of fact, in the early days, this was not called Pine Grove, it was Lincoln Annex, if I recall. That's what its name was. And we looked at the data and we said that school should be on the south side of Kent County, and ideally maybe in the southwest portion of Kent County, because that's where the populations are. And you know what? Wouldn't that be a neat thing to have a school closer to home, which would reduce the amount of transportation and bus time for students who are currently having to travel across the county to receive their services? Well, hey, there you go. Let's give that a round of applause. I appreciate that. So I wasn't on the committee. I was just on the committee looking at some of the data indicating, yes, the superintendents and the special ed directors and parents said we do need a new facility, and it would be nice to have it somewhere on the southwest side of the county. I wasn't a part of the site selection, so fast forward maybe a year beyond that, and I was in my office. I was at Granville at the time, and I got a call from Jim McLean. Jim McLean was the assistant superintendent of business services at Kent ISD. He's no longer there, although he's still active on committees with Grand Rapids Public Schools, and still a great friend. But he gave me a call and he said, Kniff, Granville Public Schools has 18 acres. And it's right on the edge of your district. And if you look out that window and that tree line over there, that's Wyoming Public Schools, and this happens to be Granville Public Schools in terms of the real estate. But he said, would you be willing, would your district be willing to sell that to Kent ISD in order to build this new facility? And the rest, as they say, is history. But I got invited to the groundbreaking. Again, I remember the day well. It was a sunny day, a breezy day. It was a cold day. But when the gold shovels came out in 2007, and we broke the ground for this facility before the school was even there. But the wisdom of Grand Rapids Public Schools and the wisdom of the special ed directors and facility directors at that time said, you know, if we build this facility, let's build it with the capacity to add on. Because, you know, we have this problem right now, and we know one day that we'll probably have to add on if enrollment keeps growing. And so when this school was built, and it opened in 2009, it was built with the ability to add on in the future. Fast forward another 5 years. Those words and that wisdom was quite prophetic, because not too long after that, 2013-14, another committee assembled, and it looked at that data and it said, we have this same problem. We're running out of space at Lincoln. We don't have the ability to add on to the footprint there. We don't have the ability to get creative with the space that we have. And oh, by the way, the capacity of this building was pushing its limit. So we need to look at adding on. Sure enough, leadership of Teresa Weatherall Neal and others said, let's take a look at getting that committee reassembled and seeing if we can find the resources and find the funds to add on to this facility. And that's the neat part about this. Another example of collaboration. The taxpayers of Kent County, through Kent ISD, we levy a tax, a millage for special education. The superintendents and the board collectively say, let's set aside a piece of that for an account for facility and infrastructure needs. And so we were able to add this addition of these 8 classrooms in this common space without raising taxes to the taxpayers of Kent County. And we're thrilled to do that, but that again is through the wisdom of the collaboration of the superintendents and the boards of education collectively within our county, of how we work together to make that happen. So we could do all of this without raising taxes, and we're excited to do that. So it's just reassuring, and that's the point I guess I want to underscore, is for parents, for staff members, for our public to know that there's a high degree of scrutiny that goes on. It is a collective effort for all 20 school districts and the public school academies throughout our county, that we work with each other to take care of the needs of the students who might need it the most. And it is their wisdom that was behind this. It was their committee work that was behind this. I would again like to thank Progressive AE, Craig Janetsky, and the architect on this project, Owen Ames Kimball, Dan Rathburn. Thank you for your work on this. They may disagree with me on this, but I just want to say, as far as the facility part of this, Kent ISD had the easy work. You know, we had it easy. I'm sure they would tell you something different in terms of the actual physical building, but the brick and mortar is the easy part. The real work, the heavy lifting, were those who helped shape the design of this facility, and that is the dedicated staff of Grand Rapids Public Schools, who gave the necessary input to make sure that form followed function, to make sure that this facility was built the right way for the students, to meet the needs of the students. I would like to thank the staff here of Grand Rapids Public Schools for your leadership in making that happen. The parent input, I know there were surveys and there were committees all along the way to get the input of the parent community to make sure that this facility met the needs of their children. I'd like to thank the parents for that. And of course, that does not happen without tremendous leadership. You may not know this, but Kent County levies the tax, Kent ISD levies the tax. Grand Rapids Public Schools operates the program on a day-to-day basis. It's a very unique arrangement. It can only happen through collaboration and trust that our superintendents have in Grand Rapids Public Schools and in the leadership of Grand Rapids Public Schools. So even though we levy the dollars, the day-to-day, the heavy lifting, the heart of what makes this happen and how it happens is the staff here at Grand Rapids Public Schools. That takes leadership, and so I want to thank Laura Lamore, the special ed director here at Grand Rapids Public Schools, Ken Clomperens with the facility work that he does on behalf not only of the students of Grand Rapids Public Schools, but the whole county. So thank you for that, and of course I'd like to thank the leader of Grand Rapids Public Schools who makes all of this happen and does an outstanding job in her role, and that is Teresa Weatherall Neal, and I'd like to introduce her now. Thank you.
Good morning. What a wonderful day it is. I am here with my president, Dr. Tony Baker. Dr. Tony Baker is with me today. This program is really near and dear to our hearts here, but I can't thank the ISD enough. Ron Kniff has been a friend of Grand Rapids Public Schools, but more importantly, students with disabilities, students needing additional support. Ron Kniff has been there for years, long before he became the ISD superintendent. And so I just want to thank you for your dedication to children. I am here not only with my president, Dr. Baker, but with my assistant superintendent, Dr. Ron Gorman, Laura Lamore, part of my cabinet, and Ken Klum parents back in the back here. But on behalf of the Board of Education, the Grand Rapids Board of Education, we are so pleased with everything that we've done. And here, serving children from age 5 to 26. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing, you guys, what we're doing. And many people across the state, they don't operate the way we do here in Kent County to come together. We are unique, but it's because of the wonderful staff and the concerned parents that are committed to not only their own children, but to all of these kids. That's how we get things done, by coming together as one family. We do it across this county time and time again. It isn't new for us, but it is new for people across the state, and other people are watching the way we behave because they're finding out too. This is the best way to do work on behalf of its children. It's everybody coming together. So I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Tony Baker, again, my president, but I am so pleased to be here with you this morning. Dr. Baker.
Thank you. Yeah, as Superintendent Mills said, the thing that makes us unique is the way we do things differently. And the way I see it is that what matters is the view of how we in this county view the phrase "our children," and I think as Superintendent Neal and Kniff was staying out, is that the key is that all children in Kent County are our children, and that's really the key part. And then so we see that as a collective responsibility. Pine Grove and our other center-based special education program is an example of this out-of-the-box community collaborative thinking. Grand Rapids Public Schools operates center-based special education programming like the one here at Pine Grove for the entire county, as Superintendent Kniff said, and the ISD provides us with this location. We are grateful that the ISD recognizes us as a leader in special education and has entrusted Grand Rapids Public Schools with students throughout the county. In this building, we work with students ages 5 to 26 who have significant developmental delays. Expanding Pine Grove means that we are able to offer more students the opportunity to learn from our talented staff in the state-of-the-art environment, which includes a sensory room, therapy pool, playgrounds, and rooms and hallways designed to meet students' needs. I'm also excited about this expansion because it allows us to educate more students closer to their home, which reduces the time they spend on the bus every day, and it frees up much-needed space at the Lincoln campus. But I also want to make sure that, again, as Superintendent Kniff pointed out, a building is not what a school is. A school is the staff and the families, and I know personally how dedicated the staff is, and I know personally how dedicated the families are to creating a community and working together for the education of all children. So I also want to thank the ISD again and the county Special Education Committee for this beautiful new space. Thank the community for recognizing that our responsibility is for all children. Thanks.
Good job. And I am going to introduce Lori Vanderploeg from the ISD.
It's a pleasure to be here. This is actually my second opportunity to participate in the Pine Grove open house, and so I'm very pleased to be here. Ron Kniff talked quite a bit about the history, and I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the participation that we had across the county in our planning. So over the last 3, 4, 5 years or so, we have been very intentional with looking at the student level data in our Lincoln School and in our Pine Grove facility. We've been collecting some trend data to take a look at where we have growth and in what areas we have the growth. We have an opportunity annually to do a walkthrough of all of our center program facilities, which include the Lincoln campuses and the Pine Grove, with Ken and Tim from Kent ISD, along with Laura, Mike Haggerty, and myself. And we're able to kind of assess what the facility looks like, where we have needs. We spent a lot of years trying to make some significant changes within the Lincoln campuses to accommodate the growth of the student population that we had coming into the facility. So as a result of that, we pulled together a work group. We had representation from all of the regions within Kent County, including Grand Rapids Public. The center program principals, Tony Moore and certainly Laura Lamore, participated on that. We had a parent from Pine Grove, Sue, so I'd like to recognize you this morning for your participation and the time and the commitment that you made in helping us out with that, so thank you. And we took a look at the data very intentionally, all the way down to each level of the programming and each individual student, and making sure that we were making the right decisions. Once our committee got done with the work, we decided to take our recommendations back to our long-range planning committee, made a recommendation that we would actually open up some new classrooms here and how many classrooms we actually had needed. So I'm very pleased that the original design committee that we had within Kent County originally were futuristic in their thinking and actually allowed us an opportunity to do the expansion that we have here today. But it certainly was a great cross-stakeholder group of folks that came to the table, put in a long amount of hours and time and commitment to doing the data review, and we were very intentional with the decisions that we made to benefit all of the students who have an opportunity to participate here. So I do want to thank publicly the committee for their hard work, and certainly the committees within Kent ISD, our Center Program Advisory, our Long Range Planning, Superintendent's Advisory, all the way up to our KISA with our Superintendent's Organization to be able to help us make this come to fruition today. So I want to thank the committee for their time and their commitment in being able to help us move this forward. So I wouldn't have been able to do it, or we wouldn't have been able to do it without great partnership between Grand Rapids. So my partner in crime, Laura Lamore, I'd like to turn it over to you.
And so, good morning again and again. It's a real pleasure to be with you today. You have heard from our leadership and talking about how the infrastructure and the decision-making came, and now here we are. We've opened the doors. We've got amazing facilities. We've got great space for learning. We've got the partnerships. And what I want to do is I want to turn my time here back to a focus of you, because if you all turn and look at each other, we've got lots of people who are doing our jobs to support the availability and the development of this kind of learning facility, but you guys are the ones that make it happen. You heard about the infrastructure. Now I want to spend my time talking about the heart. So we've got our young people here who have gone through a construction build, right? While you were in school, we were putting up walls and windows and making a space. So thank you to our students for their cooperation. Staff, please stand. Our Pine Grove team. Who would want to do any of this work without the likes of all of you who are making it happen to keep the learning for kids going while we're planning and preparing and building? You're answering questions, you're balancing your work of leadership in learning as well as your community involvement. So thank you very much for that. I'm with you. 2 applause for your staff. Tony Moore was the principal at the time. Keith Hutchins is the current principal, so it takes building level leadership. Thank you. I think there's 3 of our colleagues from Region 3 who support our partnership, right? We're in service to your kids. You trust us. Stand up. Come on. So thank you for that. We take it very seriously. We count ourselves among the luckiest because we don't just work within our community, we work on behalf of our entire community. Who else am I missing? Students, staff, leadership, ISD, families, parents. Thank you. Partnership. Our parents in the crowd, would you please stand up? Again, you make our work even more of a joy. We get to serve your young people, and buildings like Pine Grove, when the ISD and the local districts come together, we're able to say, how do we keep learning closest to where you live? And that's what this project was all about. So thank you for trusting us to do that and get it right. Thank you for continuing to say yes to us, and it's our pleasure to be in service to you. So thank you. Keith, if you would please come up and take us home.
Thanks, Laura. We're here to celebrate the building, the brick and mortar, but a school is so much more than just a building. It's a community. And without strong parent support, we don't have that community. So we would like to acknowledge parents and have a set of parents actually from our building come on up. So Brett and Cindy elders, would you come on up and have a few words? Let's give them a round of applause.
Well, good morning. I just wanted to, it's pretty exciting to hear about just the effort and energy that went into the design of this new facility. Someone at the beginning said that form truly follows function. And I guess my experience here at Pine Grove with my child and our family is that that's true of every facet, whether that's the selection of staff or whether that's the engagement of all of the individuals. And I've just been really appreciative of the fact that truly in the process of even designing this facility, there's an introspection and looking at sort of the individuals and what the needs are and what the family needs are in order to determine what needs to be built, what has to be built in order to meet those needs in the best way. And I've been very impressed by that, whether that's the selection of the new principal that we've had here, or whether that's the selection of the staff and the people that have been paired with our son in the process. So I just want to really thank the school districts and all of the powers that be. It's actually a little bit of a maze trying to figure out how it all works together, but amazingly it does work together, and I've been really appreciative of that.
Yeah, and just on behalf of Brendan, we are just so grateful for a facility where he comes every morning and he loves it here. And I'm so grateful that they expanded the place enough so that more kids can get up in the morning. He's not always happy about getting up in the morning, but he loves coming to school here. And as a parent, as a mom, that is just one of the biggest blessings that I can think of. So thank you for continuing to think of these kids who have enough challenges of their own to give them a place where they can just come and be who they are and be the best that they can be. Thanks.
So I remember, I'm sorry, you're applauding my wife, I'll let you do that. You know, I remember when they said to us, we live in Byron Center, and they said to us, wow, it looks like the only space we have is at Lincoln. And that looked like about an hour and 45-minute bus ride. And I'm telling you, that was depressing. And when they called us to say, hey, there's an opening here, I was very excited, of course. But then I also thought to myself, who are they having to say no to? Who are they having to say no to that has to have that long bus ride? Bus rides aren't fun for anyone, those with special needs particularly. And so I'm really just pleased to see that there's more facility, more capacity, and that you all actually can say yes to more people. So appreciate that.
Thanks.
Thank you. So before we wrap up, I just want to, again, acknowledge the staff, because I do feel like this is a building, and without the people in the building doing the work, the building doesn't do us much good. So if we can just give the staff another round of applause. We do have some tour guides set up, so we'll be meeting in the back. We have some staff paired with students who can kind of show you around, walk you around the building. If you haven't seen that yet, you really should take the opportunity. So we just want to thank everyone for coming out, and hope you have a great day. Yep.